The political situation in Halam Shiral hangs by a thread. The Empress fears our presence could sever it. The Grand Duke is only too happy to have us at the ball as his guests, so our invitation comes from him. Whether we act as his allies or upset the balance of power, he gains an opportunity, if not a clear advantage.
Inquisitor Trevelyan, it is an honor to meet you at last. The rumors coming out of the Western Approach say you battled an army of demons. Imagine what the Inquisition could accomplish with the full support of the rightful Emperor of Orlais.
Which one was the rightful one again? I keep getting them confused.
If we keep watch, he may appear. Probably by the brandy. I am not a man who forgets his friends, Inquisitor. You help me, I'll help you. Prepared to shock the Assembly by appearing as the guest of a hateful usurper, my lord? They will be telling stories of this into the next age.
I can't imagine that crowd has seen anything better than us in their entire lives.
I knew we would get along famously, Inquisitor. As a friend, perhaps there is a matter you could undertake this evening. This elven woman, Briala, I suspect that she intends to disrupt the negotiations. My people have found these ambassadors all over the fortifications. Sabotage seems the least of their crimes.
Tell me there's more to your suspicion than the elves were acting dodgy.
That Ambassador Briala used to be a servant of Celine's. That is, until my cousin had her arrested for crimes against the Empire to cover up a political mistake. If anyone in this room wishes Celine harm, Inquisitor, it's that elf. She certainly has reason. Be as discreet as possible. I detest the game, but if we do not play it well, our enemies will make us look like villains. We're keeping the court waiting, Inquisitor. Shall we?
Is that the Inquisitor?
A mage? No, there must be some mistake.
From the Circle of Ostwick, so they say.
Pardon me, my lord. You haven't seen a ring lying around, have you? It was a gift from the Comtesse Montbelliard, enchanted by the Fomari. I cannot go...
What's your game? Are you trying to convince the Comtesse that... or just gain importance by getting the Inquisitor to run a mean...
I assure you, the ring truly... Should you happen upon it, I... Maker, what am I going to do if I cannot find my ring?
Is this the ring you were looking for?
You are a treasure! You have saved me a lifetime of mortification.
Gaspard never struck me as pious. He must think he gains military advantage.
I heard the Grand Duke invited the Inquisition.
We can only hope Celine prevails tonight. Gaspard will ruin us all. Lady Nightingale makes me nervous.
foreigners.
Interesting.
Any word from the front lines?
My spies said the bodies were beyond counting.
Surely the Empress will put an end to the war tonight.
Pray, my friend. If the Maker does not hear us now, just pray.
Interesting.
All the Delancey's here.
Maker,
Are all the Delancey's here?
Maker, I hope not. We can only hope Celine prevails tonight. Gaspard will ruin us all.
Are all the Delancey's here?
Maker, I
Inquisitor, a moment, if you please. I must warn you before you go inside. How you speak to the court is a matter of life and death. It is no simple matter of etiquette and protocol. Every word, every gesture is measured and evaluated for weakness.
Don't they sound delightful? I'm shocked we haven't invited the court to dinner at Skyhold.
The game is like wicked grace played to the death. You must never reveal your cards. When you meet the Empress, the eyes of the entire court will be upon you. You are safer in the Fade with the Fear Demon.
You're just full of joy and light this evening.
Everything will be fine. Andraste, watch over us all. nothing else, the Inquisition backing Gaspard would make Celine nervous. You know
It
how
will take
private
some
she
time
is.
to get our men into the palace. I'll alert you when we're ready.
This dress uniform is preposterous. Well, armor would have been better.
How can they call this a vestibule?
I heard
It's a
Celine
foyer.
was having the entire
Please,
wing.
it's barely half the size of the foyer.
Who does
Interesting.
Is there any progress on the Helmi expedition to Amgarak?
House Dace remains steadfast in blocking all attempts to get into the Tig.
What is Gaspard up to? Wouldn't surprise me if it. Is that the Inquisitor?
A martyr? The Maker has
The guest wing is not open to the public at this time, Inquisitor.
And now presenting Grand Duke Gaspard de Chalon, and accompanying him, Lord Inquisitor Trevelyan of the Ostrich Circle of Magi. Shepherd and leash of the Wayward Order of Templars, purger of the heretics from the ranks of the faithful.
Remember to smile. This is all for show, my dear.
Champion of the Blessed Andraste herself.
Did you see their faces? Priceless.
Accompanying the Inquisitor, Seeker, Cassandra, Allegra, Portia, Calogera, Philomena,
Get on with it.
Pentagast, 14th cousin to the King of Navarra, 9 times removed, hero of Orlais, right hand of the divine. Madame Vivienne, first enchanter of the Circle of Magi, enchanter of the Imperial Court, mistress of the Duke of Ghislaine, the Lord Inquisitor's elven servant, Solus. Sir Callum Stanton Rutherford of Honley, commander of the forces of the Inquisition, former Knight Commander of Kirkwall. Lady Liliana, Nightingale of the Imperial Court, veteran of the Fifth Blight, Seneschal of the Inquisition, and left hand of the Divine. And Lady Josephine Charette Montilier of Antiva City, Ambassador of the Inquisition.
Cousin, my dear sister.
Grand Duke, we are always honored when your presence graces our court.
Don't waste my time with pleasantries, Celine. We have business to conclude.
We will meet for the negotiations after we have seen to our other guests.
Inquisitor?
Lord Inquisitor, we welcome you to the Winter Palace. Allow us to present our cousin, the Grand Duchess of Leeds, without whom this gathering would never have been possible.
What an unexpected pleasure. I was not aware the Inquisition would be part of our festivities. We will certainly speak later, Inquisitor.
Your arrival at court is like a cool wind on a summer's day.
Let's hope the breeze does not herald an oncoming storm.
Even the wisest mistake fair winds for foul. We are at the mercy of the skies, Inquisitor. How do you find Halam Shiral?
I have no words to suffice. Halam Shiral has many beauties, and I couldn't do them justice.
Your modesty does you credit, and speaks well for the Inquisition. Feel free to enjoy the pleasures of the ballroom, Inquisitor. We look forward to watching you dance.
Inquisitor, a word when you have a moment.
Tell me, Yvette, how are they in good health, Inquisitor?
Josephine! Oh, Josephine! Is this him?
Inquisitor, please allow me to present to you my younger sister, Yvette Gabriella Montillier.
Delighted to meet you, Lady Montillier.
Inquisitor, I've heard so much about you, but not as much as I want. Josephine writes, but is it true you found the Red Templars sacrificing...
Yvette!
Everyone in Antiva City is saying so. Is it true?
Oh, it was awful. Mage bones everywhere. Practically a carpet of...
Ew. Ow.
This may be my only chance to hear about when Josephine was a girl.
Oh, yes. As she told you about...
Yvette, stop.
Fine. What about...
No.
She once told...
Absolutely not.
She still plays with a doll collection when...
Yvette! That's absurd. Absolutely preposterous.
Which power should the Inquisition throw...
Celine has held the throne successfully for years. Gaspard has run military campaigns, but never a kingdom. His transition would be, let us say, chaotic.
Enjoying the ball?
I see many of...
The dancing is so dull, your worship.
Yvette...
Sorry, Josie.
Go on, Josephine.
Half Arroyo must be empty, so many... They've noticed the Empress paying you special attention, but they don't quite... This uncertainty won't last long, I'm afraid.
I'll see you...
Another...
It's true. The Templars have returned to the faith.
We can hope this is a sign of things to come.
Are you happy to see me at all?
I heard the Inquisition was here.
It may not have been wise to attend this particular engagement.
What were they doing in the western approach?
I had hoped to tour the Royal Wing Gardens again.
I heard the Inquisition was here.
And here we are. You haven't embarrassed yourself as much as I feared. Well done, my dear.
Any words of wisdom for navigating the ballroom?
Speak to the Council of Heralds. 6 of them are here tonight. The 7th member of the Council is indisposed. His absence will complicate the negotiations. The Council are the highest-ranking players of the game. They see everything. They might know something we can use.
Tell me, Vivienne, where do you want the crown to fall?
What I want is irrelevant, darling. Orlais requires stability, and that is best served by Empress Celine.
I've always wondered, what's the Orlesian fascination with masks?
We all wear masks, my dear. Who you are as a son, a lover, a friend, is not the same man who speaks for Andraste. Orlesians codify this truth, make it visible. By giving each of these selves its own separate face, they believe they can be their truest.
Anything happening I should know?
Keep an eye out for Celine's pet apostate. I've no doubt she's involved.
It seems like you enjoy...
This is the game, Inquisitor. Of course I enjoy it. If I didn't, I'd be dead by now.
Be ready to act when I give the signal.
Always, my dear.
Perhaps we can speak later, Inquisitor.
How could the Empress afford
Inquisitor,
to renovate the palace?
The sooner we track down this infiltrator, the
I
better.
heard that it wasn't
You
renovation.
noticed an...
I'll let you know at once if I
Damaged
do.
by Gaspard's catapult.
You have any...
Orlesian, there are a few here we can trust. Be careful.
You've attracted a following.
I don't know, but they won't leave me alone.
I take it you're not enjoying...
At this point,
the headache I'm developing is preferable to the company.
Who do you think the
Gaspard's claim to the... Well, they need someone capable of responding to the crisis at hand. A military-minded leader.
We'll talk later.
I await.
I still remember the day they came.
Good. I was hoping I would catch you. What did the Duke say?
He points the finger at Ambassador Briala.
The ambassador is up to something, but she can't be our focus. Empress Celine is fascinated by mysticism, foreseeing the future, speaking with the dead, that sort of rubbish. She has an occult advisor, an apostate who charmed the Empress and key members. I've had dealings with her in the past. She is ruthless and capable of anything.
How can Celine openly keep an apostate?
The Imperial Court has always had an official position for a mage. Vivian was the first to turn that appointment into a source of... When the Circles rebelled, technically every mage became an apostate. The word lost much of its strength.
That sounds exactly like the person we're looking for.
She's worth investigating. Can't be sure of anything. Both leads point toward the... I'll coordinate with our spies to see if I can find...
Interesting.
We are not serving drinks. Order someone else.
I do adore the heady blend of power, intrigue, danger, and sex that permeates these events.
You seem more comfortable with a Grand Orlesian bull than I'd have expected.
I have seen countless such displays in my journeys, and the powerful have always been the same. Only the costumes change.
Have you seen anything you...
No, sadly. I do not have the look of one of the elven servants, or I might well be invisible. I wonder how masked men live their lives without ever seeing... If you want to find something useful, I would pay attention to what the servants do.
Have you encountered any trouble with...
The Orlesians do not quite know what to make of me. I have kept to myself, for fear of giving them some purchase to cling to. The food and drink are excellent, however, and the servants have been happy to refill my glass.
I'll be back.
And well.
Waste of time. Gaspard is waste. Interesting.
Philippe should have returned hours ago, dallying with some serving girl while I deal with Gaspard's vitriol.
Awfully selfish of this Philippe, running off.
I've half a mind to inform the Dowager. That would teach him to shirk his duties to roll some... Tonight of all nights, leaving me to convey Gaspard's death threats to the Council. Thank you for listening to me rant.
Well, well. Here as a guest of my nephew, no less. I'm curious.
I didn't know the Grand Duke was...
He's my brother's eldest boy. Always a difficult child, Gaspard. He was raised a prince. All his life. What else should he do with his life, if not fight for his destiny?
Have you noticed anything strange this...
My niece Florian hasn't spoken to me all evening. That's not like her.
What can you tell me about the...
If you are hoping for insight, you've come... It's war. It is brutal.
Another time... There must be something here. Good to know.
You don't want to be here, stranger.
He hasn't made the pickup. It's been hours.
He went into the servants' wing. Nobody's come out of there all night.
I'll tell Brianna we have a situation.
Did you hear what Gaspard said to Duke Germain?
Well, well. What's this?
My lord! May we have a word? It is very important.
The Empress has sent us with a message for you.
How can I be certain this message is from the Empress?
We three wear the masks of House Valmont.
They signify that we are...
They are also extremely fashionable.
I'm always honored to hear from Her Majesty.
Oh, she is the honored one, Inquisitor.
Empress Celine is eager to assist.
She will pledge her full support to the Inquisition as soon as the usurper Gaspard is defeated.
Let me guess. All she wants in return is for me to help her defeat the Duke.
Oh, this is not meant as a bug.
The support of the Empress is not conditional. It will be yours once the negotiations are concluded.
The Empress is the most skilled diplomat.
But we have taken enough of your time.
Please, enjoy the masquerade, Inquisitor.
Did you need something?
Is that him?
Is it true the Inquisitor was lead out of the Faith by Andraste?
Have you heard from your nephew?
Interesting. I had no idea.
I didn't expect the Inquisitor to be so delightful.
Is it true the Inquisitor was handed out of the faith by Andraste?
Gaspar is wasting his time. Nothing he does could win over the Council of Heralds now.
You should have considered that before threatening to burn them all in there.
I had no idea. Interesting.
The package is in the guest wing. Upper room.
The one of the garden. Statuette.
This ball is a waste of time. Let's find the Venatori collaborator and get out of here.
I don't suppose you'd like to dance.
Now? This is hardly the time.
Stay alert.
I'll...
Does anyone really think the war will end tonight?
Gaspar is wasting his time. Nothing he does could win over.
Where has that servant gone? Elves, always shirking their duties.
That's the bell. I should get back to the ballroom. Gaspar is wasting his time. Nothing he does.
I don't like that writing. Nobody should know.
Leave us.
Boring. That would be the second bell. Fashionably late now.
Well, well. What have we here? The leader of the new Inquisition, fabled herald of the faith, delivered from the grasp of the Fade by the hand of blessed Andraste herself. What could bring such an exalted creature here to the Imperial Court, I wonder? Do even you know?
We may never know. Courtly intrigues and all that.
Such intrigues obscure much, but not all. I am Morrigan. Some call me advisor to Empress Celine on matters of the arcane. You have been very busy this evening, hunting in every dark corner of the palace. Perhaps you and I hunt the same prey.
I don't know. Do we?
You are being coy.
I'm being careful.
Not unwise, here of all places. Allow me to speak first, then. Recently I found and killed an unwelcome guest within these very halls. An agent of Tevinter. So I offer you this, Inquisitor. A key found on the Tevinter's body. Where it leads, I cannot say. Yet, if Celine is in danger, I cannot leave her side long enough to search. You can.
You left Celine alone. Is that wise?
I must return to her anon, but she is... 'Twould be a great fool who strikes at her in public in front of all her court and the...
What's your interest in protecting it?
Do I seem... If anything were to happen to Celine, eyes would turn first to her... There are sharks in the water, and I will not fall prey to them. Not...
Briala's people are whispering about
The ambassador does have eyes. Proceed with caution, Inquisitor. Enemies abound, and not all of them aligned with Tevinter. What comes next will be most exciting.
Lord Inquisitor.
Would you care to dance, Lady Mantillon?
You, Inquisitor, are a delight. One does not often find foreigners so well. But you have other dances to perform first. Perhaps you will save me a dance for later?
I'd like your opinion of this gathering, my lady.
It's doomed to fail. At least it should be amusing. We haven't had such a minute.
Have you noticed anything odd this...
Too few Imperial guards stand in attendance, my dear.
Good evening.
Mistress Nightingale, what a...
Look at Lady Cambien's slippers. And those buckles. Toss her into the lake and she'll sink right to the bottom. What a disaster.
I found this out.
Very interesting. It's a little more dirt like... If you find more, let me know. Everyone needs a hobby. Besides, you can learn golden jewels on a dancing slipper. A slipper is easily lost. She is unconcerned with the possibility of losing the but Lady Cambien's family has recently lost most of its holding. So, how did Cambien acquire such a grand shoe? These are all useful questions, no?
You're different here than in Skyhold.
This is Halam Shiral, Inquisitor. Of course, everyone is wearing a mask. I learned this very young.
I was still a girl when I... All this? The smiles? The small talk? For some of us, it has become so familiar that the steps may be performed in our sleep.
Who do you think the Inquisition...
What we need most of all is a stable Olay. Either Celine or Gaspard can give...
I should go.
Why would the Empress invite that elf?
Inquisitor,
The
to
game,
what
of
do we owe?
course. Celine has something
Her
up her
Imperial
sleeve.
Majesty is unfortunately occupied at present.
My investigations turned up something interesting. It concerns Ambassador Briala. She killed ambassadors from both Celine and Gaspard and forged documents to both...
How dis...
After the Empress extend...
She's better at the game than we thought.
Her people have infiltrated every part...
This is extremely
She could be spying.
How exciting!
My investigations turned up... It concerns the Grand Duke. He's made a lot of threats to the
The Grand Duke is all talk.
Very loud.
He has never had any skill at the game.
Perhaps you could tell me something then. We haven't been properly...
How rude of us to...
My Lord Inquisitor,
and Lady...
And of course, Lady Fleur. We are the Empress's lady.
I'd like to know more about...
Her Majesty has held the throne since...
She is respected and beloved.
She doesn't care much for liver, and she drinks her tea black.
I'd like to know more about the negotiations. What can you tell me about...
Gaspard is a decorated general, much beloved by the Imperial Army.
He is better suited to the battlefield than the throne. And
he's also...
Lady Briala has great intentions.
Even if her plans could never work and would only provoke hate crimes against alienages.
She is an idealist, but her lack of patience...
Good evening.
Until...
Do take...
Enjoy...
Inquisitor Trevelyan. Slumming even more than usual, I see. You've charmed some of the nobles. What brings you to me?
You might be interested in what I've found. It's about you, actually. You murdered negotiators...
In Orlesian politics, Inquisitor. If that shocked you, wait until Celine shows her hand.
You murdered
In Orlesian... If that shocked you...
I found the drop point, Briala.
Of course they are. I'd be a poor spy master if I didn't have spies, Inquisitor.
I want to know more about the peace talks. What can you tell me about...
Gaspard is a warmonger. He served in the war. He's a simple man. Simple man. Celine is the voice of reason, but reason is cautious. Reason looks for compromise, however sorely it may be needed. Another time.
My friend, come in. You've been busily charming the court, I see.
I discovered something you might be interested in. It's about Briala. She's killed Ambassador.
You can prove this. What is she trying to accomplish? She bears closer watch.
She's got people hidden among...
I suspected as much. She's a difficult adversary to predict. There's no telling what move she intends to make.
I discovered something you might be interested in. It's about you, in fact. Want to tell me why you were threatening...
The language of politics, Inquisitor. Most of the Council are Celine's lapdogs. There was little chance I could win their support any other way. Another
Duke Gaspard has made...
I have an idea, Josephine. You should invite all the family.
What is Lady Pentecost wearing?
worth checking out.
Someone will be held accountable for this.
This was no servant. What was he doing?
The man was a council of Herald's emissary. Curious to find him here.
The crest of the Chalon family. Duke Gaspard will answer for this.
Time to have a word with the Duke.
No! No!
Venatori agents! That must be the Venatori leader.
fancy meeting you here. Shouldn't you be dancing, Inquisitor? What will the nobility say?
No doubt there's a line of people breathlessly waiting.
I wouldn't be surprised. You clean this place out. Will take a month. I came down to save or avenge my missing people. So, the Council of Herald's emissary in the courtyard. That's not your work, is it?
If I did kill him,
Well, I wouldn't believe. You may have arrived with the Grand Duke, but you don't seem to. I knew he was smuggling his chevaliers. But killing a council emissary? Those are desperate acts. Gaspard must be planning to strike tonight.
are you sure he's behind this? He was too easy.
Don't let his charm blind you. He's Orlesian. I misjudged you, Inquisitor. What could you do with an army of elven spies at your disposal? You should think about it.
You know how to make a sales pitch, Ambassador.
I do. I know which way the wind is blowing. I'd bet coin that you... And if you happen to lean a little bit our way?
More politics and double-dealing. Is there anyone here who is not corrupt?
It's the game, my dear. Everyone plays it here.
Hold the area. We are in your debt, Inquisitor.
We should look around.
An elven locket, stored away in a palace safe. Unwise, Celine.
Thank you, Inquisitor.
Interesting.
Is it true what they say? We heard stories of your accomplishments.
I'd wager I have better
I told you. Not everyone fights an archdemon and lives to tell. It's an inspiration.
If you'd like, Commander Cullen could...
Really?
He'd only be gone a month.
Philippe, the world is coming to an...
You're right. Thank you.
Might be something here. Better take a closer look. That will be the second bell. Fashionably late now.
Inquisitor Trevelyan. We met briefly. I am Grand Duchess Floriane de Chalon. Welcome to my party.
Why am I not at all surprised that you want to see me now?
This is Orlais, Inquisitor. Nothing happens by accident. I believe tonight you and I are both concerned by the actions of a certain person. Come, dance with me. Spies will not hear us on the dance floor.
I don't care what the spies over here.
You should. They report your every look and gesture directly to your enemies. Come. You are from the Free Marches, are you not? How much do you know about our little war?
I assure you, the effects of this war reach far beyond the borders of the Orlesian Empire.
Perhaps it does. I should not be surprised to find the Empire is the center of everyone's world.
It took great effort to arrange tonight's negotiations. Yet one party would use this occasion for blackest treason. The security of the Empire is at stake. Neither one of us wishes to see it fall.
Do we both want that, Lady Floriane?
I hope we are of one mind on this.
In times like these, it's hard to tell friend from foe. Is it not, Your Grace?
I know you arrived here as a guest of my brother Gaspard, and have been everywhere in the palace. You are a curiosity to many, Inquisitor, and a matter of concern to some.
Am I the curiosity or the concern to you, Your Grace?
A little of both, actually. This evening is of great importance, Inquisitor. I wonder what role you will play in it. Do you even yet know who is friend and who is foe? Who in the court can be trusted?
If I've learned anything, Your Grace, it is to put my trust in no one.
In the Winter Palace, everyone is alone. It cannot have escaped your notice that certain parties are engaged in dangerous machinations tonight.
I thought dangerous machinations were the national sport in Orlais.
You have little time. The attack will come soon. You must stop Gaspard before he strikes. In the Royal Wing Garden, you will find the captain of my brother's mercenaries. He knows all Gaspard's secrets. I'm sure you can persuade him to be forthcoming.
We'll see what the night has in store, won't we?
You'll be the talk of the court for months. We should take you dancing more often.
It's a relief to do something other than fight demons and horrors.
You still face demons and horrors. These ones are simply better dressed.
Were you dancing with Duchess Floriane?
More importantly, what happened in the servants' quarters? I heard there was fighting.
I hope you have good news. It appears the peace talks are crumbling.
The Grand Duchess tried to convince me Gaspard is the traitor, but I'm not sure I buy it.
Floriane and her brother are thick as thieves, but she would give him up in an instant to save herself.
Then, the attack on the Empress will happen tonight.
Warning Celine is pointless. She needs these talks to succeed, and to flee would admit defeat.
Then perhaps we should let her die.
You have an idea, Leliana?
What Corypheus wants is chaos. Even with Celine alive, that could still happen. To foil his plan, the Empire must remain strong. This evening, someone must emerge victorious.
And it doesn't need to be Celine. She's right.
Do you realize what you're suggesting, Leliana?
Sometimes the best path is not the easiest one.
You're asking me to decide what's best.
More than that, whoever controls the Imperial...
You cannot stop Corypheus without a decision.
Then we should support Celine. She is the rightful ruler. Why would we say otherwise?
Because she led Orlais to this point. I say Gaspard, provided his sister is wrong about him.
I would suggest Briala. She could bring true peace, not only to the Empire, but also to its elves.
This is, however, your decision, Inquisitor, not ours.
I can't decide this. Not yet.
You must.
You could speak to Celine in the ballroom, but...
If Gaspard is guilty, he'll admit nothing. If he's innocent...
What did Duchess...
She said Gaspard's mercenary captain...
Which could be a trap.
Or a lead. Either way, you should search the private quarters in that wing for clues.
Then get me access. And in the meantime, get your soldiers into position.
At once. Be careful, Inquisitor.
Grace's Chamberlain has disappeared as usual.
Lord Inquisitor.
Good.
Mistress Nightingale, what a pleasure to see you again.
Is it true the Inquisitor was any doubt of the faith I entrust in?
It is always... You seem better at making friends.
I discovered something you might be interested in. It's about Briala.
What is she trying to accomplish?
What is Lady
Inquisitor? We need more servers in the ballroom. Where is everybody?
Where has that servant gone? Elves. Always shirking.
Good to know. Boring.
Thank you.
I hope you're not disappointed I stole your dance partner.
No, not at all. No one's supposed to be here. Briala said...
Briala told you to come to...
Not personally. We get coded messages at certain locations, but the order came from her. She's been watching the Grand Duke all night. No surprise she wanted someone to search his sister's room.
Is there anyone else who knows the code and the drop location who could have written those orders?
I don't know. Any of us could do it, but... No. No one else would send me here. It had to be Briala.
So this room belongs to Grand Duchess Florianne?
It used to. This had been her private room in Halam Shiral since she was a child. But this part of the palace was damaged, and the royal family moved to the guest wing.
What were you trying to find in Florianne's old room?
The message didn't say. I should have known it was a setup.
This wing is sealed. How did you get in here?
Easy. The door was unlocked. One of the others probably handled it.
All sorts of people tonight are taking advantage of this wing being closed.
Briala probably knew it was dangerous and sent me anyway. One more embarrassing secret erased. I knew her. Before. When she was Celine's pet. Now she wants to play revolution, but I remember. She was sleeping with the Empress who purged our alienage.
Something like that could destroy Briala, if it were known.
No. Some know she has a history with the Empress. But they believe she was just a favored servant. If the Inquisition will protect me, I'll tell you everything I know about our ambassador.
Go to the ballroom. Find Commander Cullen. He'll keep you safe.
Thank you. Make her protect you, Inquisitor.
You painted Orlesian assholes! When I get out of this, I'll butcher you like the pigs you are!
Inquisitor, what a pleasure. I wasn't certain you'd attend. You're such a challenge to read. I had no idea if you'd taken my bait.
I fear I'm a bit busy at the moment if you were looking for a dance partner.
Yes, I see that. Such a pity you did not save one final dance for me. It was kind of you to walk into my trap so willingly. I was so tired of your meddling. Corypheus insisted that the Empress die tonight, and I would hate to disappoint him.
Why kill the Empress? What does Corypheus want to achieve?
Celine's death is a stepping stone on the path to a better world. Corypheus will enter the Black City and claim the godhood waiting for him. We will cast down your useless maker and usher in a united world, guided by the hand of an attentive god.
You're Orlesian royalty. Why would you help Corypheus attack your empire?
You think so small, Inquisitor. Why settle for an empire when Corypheus will remake the entire world? I admit, I will relish the look on Gaspar's face when he realizes I've outplayed him. He always was a sore loser.
What exactly is in this for you?
The world, of course. I'll deliver the entire south of Thedas, and Corypheus will save me. When he has ascended to godhood, I will rule all Thedas in his name.
At this point, I'd think disappointment was an old friend.
Poor dear, you can't begin to imagine what Calpurnia and I have in store. And now I suppose you never will. In their darkest dreams, no one imagines I would assassinate Celine myself. All I need is to keep you out of the ballroom long enough to strike. A pity you'll miss the rest of the ball, Inquisitor. They'll be talking of it for years. Kill him and bring me his marked hand. It will make a fine gift for the Master.
Trust his tits. What was all that? Were those demons? There aren't any more of those blasted demons coming, right?
Good eye. Those were definitely demons.
Maker bless me. Demons? How could there be demons in the fucking Winter Palace? I knew Gaspard was a bastard, but I didn't think he'd feed me to fucking horrors over a damn bill.
Duke Gaspard lured you out here.
Well, his sister. But it had to come from him, didn't it? And all that garbage she was spewing doesn't mean anything. Gaspard had to be the mastermind.
Your accent sounds Ferelden. I thought you were one of Gaspard's mercenaries.
Born and raised in Denerim. Seems like I should have stayed there. The Duke wanted to move on the palace tonight, but he didn't have enough fancy chevaliers. So he hired me and my men. He had to offer us triple our usual pay to come to Orlais. Stinking punsy cheesemongers.
Want a new job? One that pays better? The Inquisition can always use a good mercenary company.
You hiring? I'm game. Anything's better than... You want me to talk to the Empress or the court or sing a blow?
It's been too long.
Thank the Maker you're back. The Empress will begin her speech soon. What should we do?
Wait here, Cullen. I'm going to have a word with the Grand Duchess.
What? There's no time. The Empress will begin her speech any moment.
We owe the court one more show, Your Grace.
Inquisitor.
The eyes of every noble in the Empire are upon us, Your Grace. Remember to smile. This is your party. You wouldn't want them to think you had lost control.
Who would not be delighted to speak with you, Inquisitor?
I seem to recall you saying all I needed was to keep you out of the ballroom long enough to strike. When your archers failed to kill me in the garden, I feared you wouldn't save me this last dance. It's so easy to lose your good graces. You even framed your brother for the murder of a council emissary. It was an ambitious plan. Celine, Gaspard, the entire Council of Heralds, all your enemies under one roof.
This is very entertaining, but you do not imagine anyone believes your wild stories?
That will be a matter for a judge to decide, cousin.
Gaspard? You cannot believe this. You know I would never... Gaspard?
You lost this fight ages ago, Your Grace. You're just the last to find out.
No! No!
Your Imperial Majesty, I think we should speak in private. Elsewhere.
Your sister attempted regicide in front of the entire court, Gaspard.
You're the spy master. If anyone knew this atrocity was coming, it was you.
You don't deny your involvement.
I do deny it. I knew nothing of Florian's plans. But you...
I don't know which is better. That you think I'm all-seeing? Or that you're...
Enough! We will not bicker while Tevinter plots against our nation. For the safety of the Empire, I will have answers.
I wouldn't have caught Florian in time without Briala's help.
You were working together?
Of course.
We have the note to your general ordering him to move troops covertly into the palace grounds.
It was a defensive choice. I expected betrayal here, just not by my own sister.
Keep talking, Gaspard. Eventually, you'll convince somebody.
There were also the threats Gaspard made to the Council of Heralds to bully them into giving him the crown.
Gaspard is a bully. Is that the worst you can say of me?
And his mercenary captain will be happy to tell you all their plans for the coup tonight. Briala found all of this out for your sake, Celine.
In light of overwhelming evidence, we have no choice but to declare you an enemy of the Empire. You are hereby sentenced to death.
You have enough proof to dissolve his support for the throne, Your Majesty. You don't need to take his life.
As a favor to you, Inquisitor, I will let him live. Gaspard, you are hereby banished from the Empire on pain of death.
Is that all? You're too kind, Celine.
Thank you, Inquisitor, for all your efforts tonight. I owe you my life. And Orlais owes you its future. You have done a service for the Empire never to be forgotten, my friend. This piece is your doing. You truly are the instrument of Andraste. Orlais will never forget your part in this, nor will I. Lords and ladies of the court, the civil war which has plagued us is at an end. The Orlesian Empire is whole again. Those who drove us into war for selfish gain have been dealt with as... Gaspard de Chalon is guilty of treason. He is no longer our cousin and shall never again hold title or land in Orlais. We have lost enough. No more! Now, we can move forward to healing and restoration. In our hour of need, the Inquisition has faced these dangers beside us. It is the honor of Orlais to stand with Andraste's herald to end this crisis. And in ages to come, our children and grandchildren can say that we left them a brighter world. Will you address the court, my friend?
Ending the war was the first step. A final goal must be peace for all Thedas.
Well said, Inquisitor. We of the court must use our resources. Not every battle is won on the field. But that is tomorrow. Tonight, feast, my friends. Enjoy our victory. There will be many more to come.
The Orlesian nobility make drunken toasts to your victory, and yet you are not present to hear them. Do you tire so quickly of their congratulations, Inquisitor? 'Tis most fickle, after all your efforts on their behalf.
I would have stayed, but the punch ran dry. Scandalous.
Indeed. Let us see if you take this piece of news as poorly. By imperial decree, I have been named. Celine wishes to offer you any and all aid, including mine. Congratulations.
I had no idea you were interested.
The assignment has been given. Celine knows you face an opponent who wields great magic. You will require my knowledge. Regardless, Corypheus is a threat to Orlais, and to...
What skills do you have that...
I have knowledge which for... I suspect this is also true of Corypheus, thus it behooves you to add... Mundane knowledge will not bring the rift in the sky to a close, after all.
Welcome to the Inquisition, Morrigan.
A most gracious response. I shall meet you at Skyhold.
I can't believe you escaped before me. A fat count insisted on talking about soup for 15 minutes. We can return to Skyhold whenever you like. The sooner the better. Is something wrong?
Things went according to plan for once. I couldn't be happier.
It is a bit of a surprise, isn't it? We will need to put the soldiers at Skyhold on alert. Better to be safe.
Wait. There is one thing we must do before we go. May I have this dance, Lady Cassandra?
A dance? After all we've been through tonight?
Can you think of a better way to celebrate?
I suppose this isn't terrible.
The matter is urgent, Lady Josephine.
I am well aware of that.
We will need them to return to Val Royeaux as soon as possible. There are ceremonies.
That's quite impossible at the moment.
My Lord Inquisitor. Please, may I have a word with you?
How may I assist you, revered mother?
With the political turmoil put to rest,
I have already told you, revered mother. Lady Liliana...
But surely with the support of the Empire, the Inquisition will not be harmed by the loss of just 2 souls.
Why do you need Liliana?
They were Her Holiness's most trusted advisors. They could rally the Grand Clerics to follow as no candidate from the clergy has been able to.
You must think very well of them to suggest such.
Lady Liliana and Seeker Cassandra were Justinia's Our late divine is still held in high esteem. To honor her, the Grand Cleric...
How long does the chant...
Several months, at least. If one of them is crowned divine, she would not be returning to the Inquisition.
Liliana and Cassandra would have to make that decision for themselves.
And they search... The Inquisitor has only just returned. You must excuse us. Don't let them detract from your victory at Halam-Shiral. We've beaten his wardens and stopped his intrigues. Soon, Cullen is hoping to press our advantage. We'll plan our next...
Drills upon drills. Familiarity. Inquisitor.
Will you not consider it, Lady Cassandra? The clerics are still sequestered. If no one steps forward, they will debate until...
And you think I could make them agree? I've heard enough for one day, Mother Giselle.
Talk to her, Your Worship.
fun never ends in Skyhold, does it?
The Inquisitor was hilarious. That's what they'll say one day, you watch. I assume you've heard that Leliana and I are both candidates because of what happened at Halam Shiral, of course. The Empire failed. So now the Chantry bandies our names about without even asking us first.
How can you and Leliana be candidates? You're not even priests.
It's not without precedent. Amar III was sister to the Emperor. Leliana and I were, at least, part of the Chantry hierarchy. It would be accepted.
If they'll pick non-priests, what?
Because you're a man, first and foremost. If they name you a candidate, they may as well join the Tevinter Imperium. Truly, though, I imagine it's because they're frightened of you. A weight such as yours would break the Sunburst throne and tear the Chantry to pieces. I just don't know why they believe Leliana or I would be any better.
I think you'd make an excellent divine.
Truly? I never look good in hats. Surely it was never meant to be like this. The Chantry, the Circle of Magi, the Templars, this cannot be what they intended when it all began. The Chantry should provide faith, hope. Instead, it cannot veer from its course, even in the face of certain death.
If you're concerned, then make it better.
Did you know Varric is Andrastian? Oh, he blasphemes with every second breath, but deep down he would never step foot in a Chantry. It should be the first place to which the virtuous turn. It needs to change. Perhaps I must be the one to change it.
Your determination is admirable.
Some men would call it an unattractive trait.
I'm not those men.
Truer words have not been spoken.
Who's using flattery now? I have influence, and I can use it to help the Chantry make up its mind.
I cannot ask you to do that.
You don't have to.
If you think that is the right thing to do, then thank you. I suppose I should not be so concerned. The clerics speak my name for now, nothing more. For now, restoring order and stopping Corypheus remain our priority.
Is that all for today? It helps. Oh, my maker, you cannot imagine. Fortunately, you tied twice as many threads as cut, although it is yet bewildering at the center. We are... Your worship.
There are problems?
There are always problems from... Although, if... I couldn't suggest how. That is better decided at your war... Whatever you need. Thank you.
Knight Enchanter.
Worship.
There are spirits hovering by the veil to observe the throne. After our time in Halam Shiral, I understand why. I had forgotten how I missed court intrigue.
I'm pleased you had a good time.
Political gambits, broken promises, and motivation is where great things happen. In any event, Celine should now be a steadfast ally, especially after helping her neutralize Brialla.
My sensing concern over how we dealt with Brialla.
No? Why would I disapprove of... Oh, because we're both elves. I'm sorry, I was confused. I do not consider myself to have much in common with the elves.
Nor should you. You're not defined by the shape of your ears.
No, they are not. I joined the Inquisition to save the world. Regardless of who my people are, this was the best way to help them. As for the elves of Orlais, Brialla did what she could. She was an admirable woman, even if her gambit failed.
Even if we couldn't help Brialla, I hope we can...
Stop Corypheus. It speaks well of you to feel for the oppressed. Help them for that. Know them for... instead of just seeing a pair of pointed ears.
I do not believe a reminder is necessary for this accused. Her capture and disgrace... Grand Duchess Floriane de Chalon, although you spared her life despite her treachery. What becomes of it now falls to you.
Out of your element, Floriane. Welcome to the Inquisition. My party.
Despite her posture, Lady Floriane has acknowledged your authority.
Should I curse you on behalf of the Elder One? I realize he had no intention of honoring the concordats I manipulated. Do as you must. I respect your mastery of the game, even as I despise your victory. Celine does not know her fortune.
She remains a creature of formality and opportunity. We have use for both. Grand Duchess, Josephine will see that your wiles profit the Inquisition. Don't disappoint.
Oh, one must remember that the game is never truly over, your worship.
It's time to plan our next attack. What's the state of the Inquisition?
We're well loved in Orlais. Say the words and Empress Celine will send her support.
And your actions at Adamant denied Corypheus his army of pet demons. With Orlais' support, our numbers match his. Corypheus's followers must be panicking.
My agents agree. Our victories have shaken his disciples.
We've beaten their god twice over. Corypheus must be livid. Where is he now?
After you dealt with the Duchess, Corypheus uprooted his major strongholds. He's moving south to the Arbor Wilds. His army clearly wasn't prepared to flee. Our victories have them on the defensive.
Good of Corypheus to make it easy to find him. If he's hiding in the Arbor Wilds, that's where we finish him.
But what is Corypheus doing in such a remote area?
His people have been ransacking elven ruins since Haven. We believe he seeks more. What he hopes to find, however, continues to elude us.
Which should surprise no one. Fortunately, I can assist.
You have my attention, Lady Morrigan.
What Corypheus seeks in those Forgotten Woods is as ancient as it is dangerous.
Which is?
'Tis best if I show you. This, an elven artifact from a time long before their empire. I restored this one at great cost, but another lies within the Arbor Wilds. That.
You can restore an...
There was a price, but one I found legends of an elven. It proved too dangerous to approach if Corypheus has turned southward.
What does it do?
A more appropriate question. I call it the Crossroads, a place where all Illuvians join, wherever they might be.
This place is extraordinary. How could this even exist?
Who can say? Formed from the fabric, the ancient elves left no roads, only ruins hidden in far-flung corners. As you can see, most of the mirrors are dark, broken, corrupted. As for the rest, a few can be opened from this side, but only.
How did you find...
My travels have led me to many strange destinies. Once, they led me here.
Sanctuary?
Not all the mirrors lead back to our world. The ancients were nothing if not resourceful.
If they don't lead back to our...
Places between, like... For a time, I had a respite with the man. For a time, I had a safe place to raise my son. But only for a time. One cannot remain in between.
What do you mean, a few can be opened from this side?
Some of the Illuvians have been left unlocked. All others are closed.
Opened how?
With a key.
I suppose you have such a key?
The key can be many things. I have knowledge as well as power. Often that is enough.
Corypheus wants to come here.
This is not the Fade, but it is very close.
And enter the Fade in the flesh. Like Corypheus wanted to do with the Anchor.
He learned of the Illuvian in the Arbor Wilds as I did. He marshals the last... You have made Corypheus desperate, Inquisitor. We must work together to stop him.
You don't care about people.
What's that supposed to mean?
What I said. You don't care about people. And I don't have to stay here.
Cole, I don't want you to leave.
You won't miss me. Forget.
Is everything all right?
Fine. I was...
Grand, isn't it? To know the sanctity of our great institution.
One for the Empress, for Gaspar, and Corypheus, right in the dangle bag.
Well, remind me to stay on...
Don't worry, you're sparkling compared to that lot. A cook here, a footman there. A pretty one, sure. But how many... Ugh, that place. Should have just thrown in some bees and slammed the doors.
I don't know. You want to stop a party, I think you go...
I hate those things. With their little... You know the real lesson from all this? Never sleep... That and Briala being an idiot. The whole thing would have gone different if that little piss-up wasn't in the middle.
That was a mistake on their part.
Wrong way around, Inquisitor. It started worse. Lots of people died, but that's who you're saving. If you get a chance.
Inquisitor, forgive me my distraction. My name is Meriden, a humble bard. Oh, I will...
What did John say about this? I never paid attention.
Have you heard anything? Not yet. I'll let you know as soon as I do. Inquisitor. Inquisitor.
Inquisitor.
How bracing to be in the thick of the game again. There were a dozen affairs, but until the Duchess was unmasked, I've never...
No one can say the evening wasn't...
They've already begun composing songs about it in Balrog. The game's become increasingly insular in the past few years. It's disturbing. So few people in the Orlesian court were...
The Empress realized...
She's always in danger. But let's not lose sight of victory. Your actions at the ball have secured us allies and favors.
Playing the game was thrilling.
Indeed. Tales of this... Although I do wish Varric would... Any news on the House of Repose, Inquisitor?
What's the next favor we...
We must persuade Minister Belize to ratify the papers. The Minister will be at a small fete thrown by the...
Thank you for seeing...
I chastise you for taking me from the party, Inquisitor, but the Marquis throws such dull affairs. It's hardly worth it. I assume you wish to discuss your... Tell me, why should I allow you to pollute the Orlesian nobility any further than it's already been muddled?
The Duparaquets used to be noble. You'd be restoring...
Restoring it far too... Really, it is too much. What can you possibly provide that will make your petition worth my effort?
Diplomatic connections that reach far beyond the boundaries of Val Royeaux, perhaps?
I might make use of your ambassador. Arrange for me to be introduced to the court of Antiver. I hear Winter is most very well, Inquisitor. Should you fulfill this bargain, I shall...
She's one I would offer no mercy. We nearly lost the cream.
He spent his life in the... I must return to Val Royeaux to see that everything is in order.